It is a freezing night in January. The temperature outside has plummeted well below zero. Inside a freezing metal van, a person is making a desperate and potentially deadly choice. They are about to turn on a $400 portable propane heater. They believe they are simply buying a few hours of warmth. In reality, they are inviting a silent killer known as carbon monoxide into their enclosed sleeping space. Every single winter, this exact scenario quietly claims lives across the country. People either freeze to death in their vehicles, or they suffocate from the very machines designed to save them. Yet, right down the street, sitting entirely unnoticed on the bottom shelf of a local hardware store, is a $1 item that could save their life. This hidden lifesaver requires absolutely zero electricity. It burns no expensive fuel and requires no complicated installation. It produces zero toxic gas while you sleep. Despite its incredibly low cost, it can keep a human body comfortably warm through the most brutal and unforgiving winter nights. You might be asking yourself why you have never heard of this miraculous survival tool. The answer reveals a harsh and dark reality about modern economics. The recreational vehicle and outdoor survival industries generate billions of dollars in revenue every single year. Giant companies dominate this market by pushing heating systems that cost anywhere from $400 to $2,000. These highly engineered machines require constant professional maintenance and expensive replacement parts. More importantly, they force you into a never-ending cycle of purchasing diesel or propane fuel. A $1 endlessly reusable solution completely destroys their highly profitable business model. Corporate executives know that you cannot build a massive industrial empire on a product that costs pennies and lasts for decades. Therefore, the entire industry relies heavily on keeping you completely in the dark. Even homeless shelters and charitable organizations rarely distribute this life-saving item. Instead, they hand out cheap, disposable hand warmers in their winter survival kits. Those single-use packets lose their heat after just 6 hours and ultimately end up polluting massive landfills by the millions. The disposable warmers are usually donated by manufacturers who simply want a corporate tax write-off and some cheap public relations visibility. The current charitable system is heavily designed to manage the problem temporarily rather than solving it permanently. This massive deception across multiple industries relies on one fundamental misunderstanding about human survival in extreme cold. Most people falsely believe that to survive the winter, you must heat the air around you. That assumption is scientifically and biologically incorrect. Your van or car holds roughly 300 cubic feet of empty air. Attempting to heat that massive volume of air requires a tremendous amount of thermal energy. That expensive heat instantly escapes through the thin glass windows and the uninsulated metal walls of your vehicle. An old survival proverb states that a foolish man tries to heat his entire barn, while a wise man simply heats his coat. The United States military and veteran long-haul truckers have understood this biological secret for many decades. You do not need to heat the freezing metal box surrounding you. You only need to heat your biological core. The human body is an incredibly efficient biological furnace. Just by existing and breathing, you constantly generate the equivalent heat output of a 100-watt light bulb. Your main problem in the dead of winter is not a lack of heat production. Your true enemy is losing that precious heat faster than your body can generate it. If you can strategically stop the heat from escaping your core, you will easily survive the coldest night. This brings us directly back to that heavily guarded $1 secret. It is a completely reusable sodium acetate heat pack. At first glance, it looks like nothing more than a simple plastic pouch filled with clear liquid and a tiny metal disc. But inside that unassuming pouch is pure, raw physics waiting to be unleashed. When you finally press that small metal disc, a violent chemical reaction occurs instantly, transforming that cold liquid into a searing hot solid that will change the way you sleep forever. The moment that metal disc clicks, you are not just generating heat. You are unleashing the raw power of phase change materials. The clear solution instantly crystallizes before your very eyes. As it turns solid, it violently releases stored thermal energy, reaching temperatures up to 130 degrees Fahrenheit within seconds. This is not a gimmick or a cheap magic trick. This physiological process releases approximately 90 calories of intense thermal energy per gram of solution directly into your freezing body. Unlike traditional space heaters that constantly burn expensive fuel and eventually die, this reaction relies on pure, clean chemistry. There are no fragile batteries to freeze and fail in the middle of the night. There is no dangerous propane fuel to run out of when a blizzard strikes. There are absolutely no moving parts to break down when you need them the most. The chemical reaction provides a peak, intense heat for up to 2 hours, followed by a slow, comforting warmth that lingers for several more hours as you sleep. When the pack finally cools down and completely hardens, its life is not over. It is simply waiting to be reborn. By dropping the solid pack into boiling water for a mere 10 minutes, the rigid crystals completely dissolve back into a liquid state. The thermal energy is captured from the boiling water and securely stored inside the pouch once again. A single $1 pack can easily survive anywhere from 50 to 200 boiling cycles before it ever needs to be replaced. For the price of a cheap cup of coffee, you secure hundreds of hours of life-saving heat across multiple harsh winters. This remarkable efficiency is the exact reason why over 3 million long-haul truckers swear by this hidden method. When a massive winter storm shuts down the highways across the Rocky Mountains, truckers are often trapped in their freezing cabs for days. Idling their massive diesel engines all night long would easily burn through $20 of fuel and risk a lethal buildup of exhaust fumes. Instead, these road veterans rely on this simple, reusable chemical reaction. They share this vital survival knowledge over CB radios and in dimly lit truck stop diners, far away from the slick corporate marketing campaigns of the outdoor gear industry. However, simply owning this $1 item is not enough to guarantee your survival. Most amateurs make a critical and potentially fatal biological mistake when they finally try to use it. When the freezing cold sets in, human instinct screams at you to immediately warm up your freezing hands and your numb toes. People desperately clutch the heat packs in their palms or shove them deep down into their winter boots. That is the absolute worst thing you can possibly do. When your body enters a survival state in freezing temperatures, it intentionally restricts blood flow to your extremities. It willingly sacrifices the temperature of your fingers and toes in order to protect your vital internal organs. By applying the heat pack directly to your cold hands, you are actually fighting a losing battle against your own evolutionary biology. The veteran van dwellers and seasoned truckers know that there is only one specific location on the human body where this heat pack becomes an ultimate weapon against the cold. They understand that to survive the night, you must place this intense chemical heat in a highly strategic position that instantly forces your own heart to pump liquid warmth to every single inch of your freezing body. The secret location is not your shivering hands, but the absolute center of your biological engine. You must place these searing hot packs directly against your core torso area, specifically targeting your lower back or your lower abdomen. These specific regions of the human body process massive continuous volumes of blood flow. When you introduce a 130-degree heat source to these major arteries, your heart instantly transforms into a biological radiator pump. It takes that captured thermal energy and aggressively forces it outward, flushing liquid warmth down your arms to your frozen fingers and down your legs to your numb toes. As my own grandmother used to say when fixing her old, rusted truck, you must always warm the engine, never the wheels. This exact biological principle is the absolute foundation of surviving winter in a vehicle. However, when the outside temperature plummets from a mild frost down to a bone-chilling 0 degrees, a single heat pack is no longer sufficient. You must drastically escalate your survival tactics by deploying a highly specific 2-pack system. By positioning one boiling hot pack firmly against your front abdomen and a second pack tightly against your lower back, you construct an impenetrable core heating sandwich. This dual placement violently traps the thermal energy exactly where your vital organs desperately need it the most. For a total investment of less than $15, you now possess a fully reusable heating system that will easily outlast the harshest winters for years to come. Compare this humble, brilliant solution to the terrifying reality of the massive RV industry standard. The industry elite demand that you purchase a $2,000 diesel heater, drill permanent holes into the floor of your van, and pay for expensive professional installation. They expect you to perform constant, messy maintenance while secretly praying that the exhaust system never leaks lethal carbon monoxide into your sealed cabin as you sleep. Yet, despite the incredible power and undeniable safety of the sodium acetate pack, I must be brutally and unforgivingly honest with you right now. These chemical heat packs are not magical artifacts that can completely defy the merciless laws of nature. If you attempt to survive a negative 40-degree blizzard with nothing but a heat pack and a cheap blanket, you will absolutely not wake up the next morning. These packs do not heat the ambient air inside your freezing van. They will not stop your stored drinking water from turning into solid blocks of ice overnight. They will not magically prevent your own warm breath from condensing and freezing into dangerous frost on the interior walls of your vehicle. The $1 heat pack is incredibly powerful, but it is merely the engine of a much larger survival machine. An engine is entirely useless if you do not build a heavily fortified infrastructure around it to trap and harness its raw power. To truly conquer the deadliest winter nights and emerge completely unscathed, you must integrate this chemical engine with 3 specific, non-negotiable components that form the ultimate survival envelope. The first critical component of this survival envelope is your defense against conductive heat loss. When you sleep inside a van, the freezing metal floor acts like a giant thermal vampire, relentlessly sucking the life-saving heat directly out of your bones. You must construct an impenetrable barrier between your warm body and that icy steel by utilizing a high-density foam sleeping pad. The second non-negotiable component is a heavy-duty sleeping bag specifically rated for 20 degrees below your expected ambient temperature. This thick insulation layer acts as the physical containment field for your chemical engine. It violently traps the intense warmth generated by the sodium acetate packs and forces it to circulate entirely around your body instead of dissipating into the freezing air. The third and most misunderstood component involves managing the invisible threat of radiant heat loss and deadly humidity. You must cover every single inch of bare glass with reflective thermal materials to stop your precious heat from escaping into the night. Simultaneously, you must deliberately crack a roof vent or a window open by exactly 1 inch. While it sounds completely insane to let cold air inside, this crucial step allows your own exhaled breath to escape the vehicle. If you trap that moisture inside, it will rapidly condense on the freezing metal walls and rain down upon you as a dangerous, damp cold that can quickly induce hypothermia. When you combine these 3 structural elements with your $1 heat packs, you assemble a masterclass in survival economics. The entire setup, including the reusable packs, the foam pad, the sub-zero sleeping bag, and the window insulation, will cost you roughly $50 to $80. Compare that staggering affordability to the $2,000 diesel heater installation that every single van conversion expert desperately tries to sell you. Both systems will absolutely keep you alive through a raging blizzard. However, one requires constant maintenance and expensive fuel, while the other costs a tiny fraction of the price and utilizes the raw laws of physics. But the true value of this forgotten method goes far beyond simple financial savings. It is about completely eliminating the single most terrifying threat to winter van dwellers across the globe. Every single winter, tragic news headlines echo the exact same grim story. People fall asleep inside their vehicles with propane heaters running, or they leave their engines idling while falling snow silently blocks their exhaust pipes. Carbon monoxide is a completely odorless, tasteless, and invisible assassin. It slowly replaces the oxygen in your bloodstream, lulling you into a deep, permanent sleep from which you will never awaken. These senseless deaths are entirely preventable, yet they continue to happen year after year because people are sold the wrong solutions. By deploying the sodium acetate core heating system, you completely eliminate the need for combustion inside your tiny sealed cabin. There are absolutely no toxic fumes, no dangerous exhaust leaks, and zero risk of the silent death that stalks the winter night. You can finally close your eyes with the absolute, unshakable confidence that you will actually wake up the next morning. That profound peace of mind possesses a value that far exceeds any dollar amount ever printed. The powerful knowledge of this chemical survival technique did not simply vanish into thin air. It has been quietly waiting in the hushed conversations of veteran truck drivers, hiding in the fundamental textbooks of chemistry students, and surviving in underground online forums. The brilliant engineers who designed these phase change materials definitely knew the incredible power they held. And now, thanks to this forgotten wisdom, so do you. A van parked in the dead of winter is nothing more than a freezing metal coffin until you finally realize the ultimate truth. You are never supposed to heat the massive box surrounding you. You are only supposed to heat yourself. This is where your own journey of true independence finally begins. If you are currently living the rugged van life, or if you have successfully survived brutal winters sleeping in a vehicle, we want to hear your voice. Drop your most heavily guarded heating secrets in the comments section below right now. What brilliant survival techniques have kept you warm that nobody else in the mainstream media ever talks about? The most valuable survival knowledge does not come from slick outdoor gear companies trying to empty your wallet. It comes directly from the resilient people who are actually out there living it, surviving it, and conquering it every single night. Share what truly works, and you might just help someone else survive the freezing darkness tonight. If this message opened your eyes to a completely new reality of survival, make sure to subscribe to Primal Methods and share this video with everyone who needs to hear the truth. We are Primal Methods, and we are here to help you remember what the massive industries have tried so desperately to make us all forget. Stay warm, stay vigilant, and never stop surviving.